Welcome to day 5 of our 5-day Write Your Bestseller Challenge. We are wrapping up with the best part of all, 7 ways to make money with your book. And I'm giving you a bonus number 8 at the very end. So stick with me all the way to the end. This one in particular, I only usually give out live. And it's something that's never been printed on a slide or anything like that. It's something that was given to me by a millionaire mentor, multi-millionaire mentor, who asked me to never sell it, which I don't. I only give it away for free, and I never do that in slides or teaching. So when I give the bonus number 8, stick around all the way to the end. It's a good one. It really is. And everybody could and should be doing it. It's a no-brainer. So let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen with you. Quick little recap for those of you who may be catching up. On day 1, we did clarity because you need to know who is your book for, what the result is that you want them to get, and what you're going to leverage your book to do ultimately. If you have that clarity, writing the book comes together so quickly and easily. On day 2, we talked about what is your secret sauce? Like, what is it that even though this is a topic somebody else has written a book on, because that's almost always the case, what is it that makes you unique, the way that you share it and what you have to give and share with the world, right? What is your secret sauce? On day 3, we did your outline and we used ChatGPT to do it like that. So simple, so easy. And it all comes together so professionally. If you've never written a book before, ChatGPT will make sure and keep you on track. Don't forget to add the introduction. Maybe you want to have a foreword or an afterword or any of those kinds of things that ChatGPT full well knows that you might want in your book. So then on Thursday, my favorite of the whole writing series is we did the interview with ChatGPT, where Chat simply interviews you, asks you the questions, and all you have to do is answer, and it types it all up for you. You can even do it with audio conversational. I put up a quick video on my page about that last night, where it will actually choose the voice you want. There are several to choose from. And it will ask you the question and then you answer. And then it will ask you the question and you answer. And it's conversational. It keeps all of that information and then organizes it into paragraphs that become the content of your book. Your information, your solutions, they're typing. That's my favorite part. So let's get down to how to make real money with your book today, because ultimately you can't share your light with the world if you can't keep your lights on. It's an old Zig Ziglar saying. Lisa says it well. It is so true to this day. Like, you need to be able to serve from your overflow. Take care of yourself, your family, those around you. And in the overflow, that is where you can really, truly bless people. Oprah was a great example of that because she worked really hard to build her company. It cost her a lot of money to buy that corporation from the studio in order to build her own company. And then once she was able to serve from her overflow, holy cow, what an overflow. So great example there. Let's go ahead and jump on in. I'm going to share my screen. 7 ways to make money with your book. Let's get started. So number 1, this is the most common one that most authors who come to me from the beginning, this is what they imagine as book sales and making money from their book sales. Nothing wrong with that. However, it is like any business. It requires marketing. It requires effort. You don't just put your book on Amazon and everybody in the world finds you and you're amazing. It doesn't work like that. It still requires marketing. It still requires your public presence. It still requires effort. And there are different ways you can do that. Is there money to be made in selling books? Well, heck yes. So there are a lot of people that have self-published their own books and made a lot of money. So Amanda Hocking, these are people all that are self-published, by the way. Amanda Hocking tried to get her books published originally from a traditional publisher. They would have nothing to do with her. So she self-published on her own, figured it out, and published an ebook, became hugely popular. And then she had publishers coming to her offering to publish. And then they offered her the traditional publishing, we'll keep 70%, give you 30%, blah, blah, blah. We get to own most of it, all that kind of BS. She's like, why would I want to give you any? Where were you when I needed you? And right now, I'm making plenty of money. So, of course, you want in on it. No, no, I don't need you. So, self-publishing through Amazon really just is the smart way to go these days. I don't even mess with the big five. Like, don't even. So much better and much bigger profit margin. You retain 100% of the rights, 100% of the royalties. And there are books right now, because of the low competition on TikTok, that have sold over 100,000 copies in the last year. It is phenomenal. That's why I have TikTok for authors, because if you want to sell books and make money selling books, that's really where you want to go. All right. Number 2, book club. This is especially great for fiction books, for fiction writers, poetry writers, children's books, things like that, because where a self-help book might have steps that you can use in another thing like a course, a poetry book would have loyal followers who want to interact with the poet, who want to hear the poet read their poetry, that kind of thing. Or with a children's book, it's about connecting with the parents and how they can get more out of your book and how they can help you shape the up and coming books, especially for fiction. I've seen book clubs for sci-fi authors and things like that, where the members actually get to kind of help guide because they have a lot of requests and ideas and things like that, and things that they want to see in the book that the author can, take in mind. And this, of course, is a paid book club. So next, 3, advancement. So not everyone who comes to me wants to turn their book into an online course or a way to make money. Sometimes the way they want to leverage their book is for politics, for credibility in the community, or in their job. So there's 2 authors in particular that stand out in my mind when I talk about advancement based on your book. One in particular, a very dependable government employee, had been long employed by them, always did well in her job, was always on time, average job, average, all that kind of stuff, right? But then she wrote her book, and her boss got wind of this book and then read the book and was like, wow, I had no idea that you've been through all this. She never got personal at work, never talked about her triumphs, never talked about the things that she had overcome. And her boss and coworkers never had a clue, didn't know that she had this in her. And so not long after that, she was given a promotion, and she was offered a job in the state that she wanted to live in at a salary twice as much with less hours. Well, it was just under twice as much, but almost twice as much that's a big deal. That is a big, big deal. All because of her book. Now all of a sudden she's on their radar. They see her differently. And then another one was an attorney in a law firm. Now, on the side, she does some coaching and retreats, but it's very much on the DL because she doesn't really mix her company representation as an attorney with her retreats. However, because of the content and how it overlapped with her firm's content and what they represent, they highlighted on their website that she's a #1 best-selling author. And it makes her stand out as an attorney because she's not just an attorney at their firm, she's also a #1 best-selling author. So they leveraged her credibility in their website, and it helps her stand out in the firm and for potential clients. So that's one of the ways that you can leverage your book. #4, speaking engagements. Whether you speak for free or fee, you're getting paid. If you speak for free, then you need to be able to offer something else. So you're doing it for the benefit of financial gain. Or if you're getting paid to speak. So you may be speaking at medical conferences. There are a lot of different groups that require yearly educational seminars, and they are always looking for speakers, and those speakers get paid. There are speaking circuits and speaking platforms that they just specifically go around and put on events. One of my authors, he's a former metaphysical pastor and leader who had a large congregation, longtime experienced speaker, and was trying to get into these very large, prestigious speaking circuits, but they wouldn't extend the invitation. He'd come knocking and they said, right? Like he couldn't get them to give him the time of day. Isn't that crazy? Like he has a full congregation, is obviously a professional speaker and has some amazing things to share. And it's a fit for them. But here's what he found out. So in the process, just 2019 to 2020, he was in the process of writing his book. The church doors had to close. He had to pivot a little bit as his book got published. Oddly, just right in that process, right in that time, right? And at that exact same time, his book became a bestseller. All of a sudden, they contacted him and said, "We want you to come speak." And he said, "Why now? I don't know anything more today than I did yesterday." And they said, "We only allow best-selling authors on our stages because we charge premium for our seats. So we will have nothing less than premium speakers." So it's now become a minimum standard. So keep that in mind when you're headed for the big leagues. Okay. All right. So #5, business or product. This is really great if you are doing direct sales of any sort, because those companies are big and there are a lot of direct sales people. But what makes the difference is who that salesperson is. The products are all the same. Who the people are very, very different. How they approach their business, who they are, how they help their clients, very different. How do you manage to stand out when all of you have the same title, look the same, and are given the same script? How do you stand out? Well, if you're a best-selling author on the topic, then that's how you stand out. How does somebody choose this? I can't use any company names, this company name person over this company name person. Well, because this one has a book on it and she's a best-selling author. Well, that's pretty much a no-brainer. I had a client that was opening a brand new cycle bar and wrote a book and got into the local newspaper as a #1 best-selling author, and it helped to drive traffic to that cycle bar because they see you as more than just someone opening a business. You are indeed a best-selling author. And the book was all about living life to the fullest. So it's all congruent. It all works together. It's about fitness and living life to the fullest and a full and enjoyable life. right? So it drives more traffic, helps you stand out in the crowd. If you're a real estate agent, there are a lot of real estate agents. There are a lot of plumbers, right? Seth Godin once said, I would rather hire a plumber who wrote the book on it than just a regular plumber. Let that sink in for a minute. I would rather hire a plumber who wrote the book on it than just a regular plumber. So if you have a choice of 5 real estate agents and one of them wrote a book that is in alignment with what you want and believe for your home, are you going to choose the #1 best-selling author or one of the other random agents? I think we know the answer. So that's how you stand out and can get premium dollar because you rise above the rest. All right, this love, love, love. It's my favorite way. It's a no-brainer. Consulting or coaching. It is, they have access to you. It's like people get to the end of the book and they say, okay, but what does that mean for me? They all have the same questions, and we all think that we have extra challenges or that it's unique for us. And the truth is, it's not. We're all in a similar journey, right? But they don't know that when they're in the middle of it. And if they have access to you, they're willing to pay premium dollar for that help. So consulting, coaching, that's where you make the premium money. And you stand out in a sea of other coaches because it's a growing industry. It is a growing industry in how many people are coming up in it. It is a growing industry because people are investing more in their coaching and more people are seeking it. But how do you stand out in the crowd? And in some cases, how do you at least maintain minimum standards? By being a best-selling author. It shows who you really are, what's special and unique about you, and that you're really serious about this thing. You didn't just hang up a shingle last week and say you're a coach. No, you like know your stuff. You walk your walk, you talk your talk, right? So this will help you stand out in the crowd. And #7, a companion. Now, my favorite companion story is about Lisa Nichols. So Lisa wrote, her first book was Chicken Soup for the African American Soul. And she did a full tour for that book. And it was this series of plane to church. It was a full series of travel for a year. Okay. And she would stay in someone's home at every stop. The church would provide a place for her to stay. A family would host her. And they would always serve her chicken soup. Different forms of chicken soup. She's had it all. Oh my goodness. She can talk to you about some chicken soup, I'll tell you what. Not a good idea to serve it to her anymore. And she did this tour and she had an amazing experience, but at the end, she really didn't make much money. She only made, a few tens of thousands of dollars after all that travel and all that work and all that effort. She was selling bits of books, right? And so the income was very minimal. Then she published Chicken Soup for the African American Woman's Soul. And in that process, she thought, I need something more to provide them. And she created Ladies Let's Talk. Ladies Let's Talk was a 6 cassette tape series that was a companion to the book. This was a little while ago, it was a couple decades ago. And there's a backstory to how she even got it recorded and stuff. We could talk about that sometime. It's a great story. But the whole point is that she needed to have a companion to the book. And she sold the audio. I think it was for $20, something like that. And from just the companion alone, and again, remember, this is a few decades ago, she made over $60,000. That was much more beneficial. That was worth it. So these days, she always adds like events for her last book, Abundance Now. She had Abundance Now events. She adds online courses and things like that. So you need to have a companion, and it's whatever is appropriate for your book. You can charge for additional like custom meditations, guided meditations, or things like that. Or my very favorite is creating an online course. Because once you've written the book, you've done the heavy lift. The course is basically done. You just need to take the book and put it into an online format. And ideally, have live access to you, because you can charge premium when they have live access to you on Zoom like this. So it's really pretty much a no-brainer. In fact, let me show you. Oops, we need to go back. Almost missed it. Okay, let me show you this part. This is a great example. Imagine you have a 3-month course for only $997. It's an easy sell because it's only 4 payments of $249. Now imagine you've enrolled 25 students. That's $24,925. Now the course is only 3 months, so then you enroll your next one and your next one, and you do this 4 times a year for a total of $99,700. That is a pretty nice profit. That is how you make real money with your book, because the content of your book is already done. Now they get something extra. They get a handout with chapter 1. They get access to you every other week on Zoom. They get to go a deeper dive and get better results than just reading it from the book, which when you read it from the book, it's the beginning of the conversation, not the entirety. So having access to more materials and to you, that's premium. And they're willing to pay for it. And it's a no-brainer at something like only $249 a month for 4 months to get the results they want, to get through a struggling divorce, or to find the love that they want, or make more money in their business, or organize their home, or get the wardrobe they always wanted. Whatever it is for them that they desire, whatever the result is that you can create for them, they're willing to pay for it. They want and need it. Are you available to provide it? This is a no-brainer and really simple from your book, which is why I include it as a bonus. For this month, for the holiday season in particular, I'm including the live course as a follow-up. Once you get your book done, then we turn it into an online course for free. Because to me, it's just a no-brainer. That's where you really make your money back. So if you're not already in the Bestsellers Guild, come join me there. If you are interested in learning how to write, publish, market your book to bestseller guaranteed, and turn it into an online course, get on my schedule. Or if you are a busy professional and you need my team to do it for you, I will interview you and do all the rest. So here's my calendar, calendly.com/Kathy K Books. You can also slide into my DMs. So it has been an absolute pleasure to serve you this week. And I hope you've been working on your book, whether it's your first one or your next one. I want to hear all the details. I want to hear what is working for you, what's not working for you. How can I support you? Post in the Bestsellers Guild and stay active in there, because stay encouraged, stay connected. And if you have any questions, I'm glad to help you. I want to help you get your next book done. Okay? Have a wonderful day, everybody.